Hey guys, this is Light, and it's been quite some time since my last tier list update because I've been on holidays, but I am back now, so let's get into it. If this is your first time watching any of these videos, I usually cover the units that are new or anything that's different from the last update video. So if you want like a full detailed explanation on everything, it'll be in the base video. But yeah, this will only be covering the new units, including the balance patch. I believe the last one I did was before Biblas release, and I preemptively ranked Biblas in like S plus tier, but she turned out to be a bit better than that. So yeah, let's get into it. First let's talk about of course like the new. Okay, let's start with Biblas because we haven't talked about Biblas. Biblas is OP. I had her S plus in my last video. She's easily tier 0. She's obnoxious. She makes people really hard to kill. Their defensive mechanics are really OP. Like more HP, an auto cleanse mechanic. She injures 40%. Like she does a lot, and she's just really strong. There's not much counterplay to her. Like the closest you're gonna get to counterplay is like fearing her and then proccing her. But even then, she still has a lot of value because her passive is still going. She is weak to Seal, of course, so she's weak to like Diene, Luna, etc. But she's a very stable unit. I think her only bad matchup is Nodos, but she can win that matchup if you're aggressive. But yeah, pretty much she's really strong. I guess okay, technically her bad matchup is also skills because skills cleave is unbeatable. Oh yeah, yeah. But otherwise she's really broken. Very stable unit. She does damage. She protects your team. She cleanses. She does a lot. She does a whole lot. So easy tier 0. Basically, she makes it very difficult to be aggressive on someone because like she's just so safe. And like this kind of unit, really OP as a first pick. So yeah, very good. Very versatile too. That you can play her aggressively with like a strip opener and really fast, or you can play her slow to wait out the other person's immunity buff and then just debuff them to death. That is a thing. Yeah, she's really good in basically every situation. Maybe not if you're getting DN cleaved. DN cleave is a different thing. But yeah, super good. And then the other new unit we have is Salome. I am a little hesitant to put her this high. I'm kind of leaning towards S plus, but she is a complete menace. Doing stuff like cloning Yuha, cloning Ruel, cloning your main damage dealer like Celine because she gets the free soul burn and bonus damage as well. It's really heinous. Like it's really heinous. Oh, speaking of Celine, I forgot to move her up. There's a lot of toxic things you can do with her. Like you can build her 300 speed and you can do the same damage as like a base speed damage dealer or like something really slow. Yuha S3 is insanely broken with her because like Yuha was not meant to have S3 up twice. Like she has a lot of potential, but I will say, okay, I think she's between tier 0 and S plus. Because one, she is weak to cleave. She has no survival mechanics besides her stupid sweet miracle. She will just completely fold to like a skills cleave. She has a kind of a bad matchup into Arunka because you can't copy any of Arunka's units, and like she can't touch her team and whatnot. But oh, she's really good. However, there is there's this like caveat to her. Her win rate is quite negative because she's pretty difficult to play. I'm not gonna lie. Because like you have to think on her turn, and thinking and E7 players don't go very well together. Like if you look at E7 GG, you'll notice her win rate is very negative in lower ranks, but then it gets a lot better in like Legend. And that's because she's pretty hard to play. I'm not gonna lie. Cause like unless you have like really good fundamentals and you abuse the meta, she'll be not too easy to play. But otherwise, she has a lot of potential. Probably my favorite unit right now because A lot of skill expression, a lot of potential. Issue is she's the decision making can be difficult, but yeah, otherwise very strong unit. I almost want to put her tier 0, but I think her matchups are pretty rough again. Weak to Cleave, weak to skills, obviously, weak to Arunka, difficult fighting Nodos, but yeah, very powerful unit. Like, cloning your DPS is huge, cloning your revivers is huge, cloning your debuffers is also huge. Also, cloning the other person's debuffer is also huge. Cause like, if you're on Sweet Miracle and someone like picks Tenebrae into you, you like Sweet Miracle out of their debuffs, clone their Tenebrae, and then debuff them back. Like, the potential is crazy with this unit, but like for her weaknesses mentioned a moment ago, I don't think I can put her tier 0 confidently, but she is really good. And then let's see what's new. There's also the balance patch. I think RB in particular is some hot stuff. I think he's extremely annoying. He has up to 90% evasion that cannot be sealed, unlike every other evasion unit. So Luna doesn't work against him necessarily. Diene doesn't work against him because he's gonna throw back her stupid seal. He's a very sticky damage dealer. Like, he'll just dodge and then he'll do tons of damage to you. He's good like against Cleave. He's good with Cleave. He's a very solid unit, but he does have quite a handful of bad matchups though. For example, he cannot kill Freerin. He can't really kill Celine. He can't kill people who are, full tank. But, he's still a very impotent pick, and if you are a pickable damage dealer in this nonsense meta, you're honestly a pretty decent unit. I'll say he's a pretty decent unit for sure. Especially against more aggro people who are easier to kill than like full tank players. He is definitely very good. And like very flexible too. Like you can be full damage and very aggressive, or you can be slow tanky with like riposte or lifesteal. 1v4 cleavers with lifesteal set is kind of the thing right now. It's very funny if it works. But yeah, RB definitely a very pickable unit, which is nice. More damage dealers is always nice. However, he does struggle against very tanky teams because he just doesn't do enough damage. So yeah, easy S tier. Cannot say S plus, unfortunately. And then let's see what else changed. There's also Pyreflan, but I think she's just a Zeo Cleave unit. I don't even know if she's here. Oh yeah, Pyreflan. I think she's just a Zeo Cleave unit. She's getting an EE that gives her a double strip, so I think that'll make her quite a bit more viable. Only issue with Pyreflan though is that she can't push back Nodos, so like she has less she's not that effective sometimes, and also she can get RNG to death pretty easily. Cause like you have 2 strips, and you have a double strip, you have a bomb, you have a defense break. There's a lot of 15% that you have to go through, but I think she'll be a better unit. But historically, I don't really rank Cleave units because like they're only as good as Cleave is, which Cleave is pretty good right now. And Cabo also got an EE. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be super good. And the Cabo EE is nonsense, by the way. Like, the extinction units are balanced around the fact that the extinction unit doesn't do that much damage, but Cabo does nuclear damage. So I'm not sure why they gave him extinction, not gonna lie, but yeah, Cabo will be a beast. Alright, let's see what else changed. Oh yeah, I'm also going to pre-rank Ivana. I don't know how to feel about this unit. I feel she's very specialized. She reminds me of Chenille. You can't really pick her that effectively against people who don't have Immortal. And like, I don't know how well she's gonna work into Scales Cleave, because her passive says the enemy must have Immortal, but what if the Scales just cleaves you without proccing her immortality and then you have a dead unit? and I'm really not sure about it. And I'm not sure about having her on like your band protect or anything, cause like she's only 117 speed. What are you gonna outspeed? It's just kind of a weird unit. I know a lot of people are like going crazy about her, but I am very reserved about her. Unlike Biblas, I think she reminds me of Chenille, who is extremely specialized, and like it's I don't have that great of an impression, but I could be wrong. But I'll say she can be S because like, you know, Diene is a very common pick. Skills is a very common pick. If you manage to make the skills players slow down, then you can like beat them up with Ivana. But I don't know how you can do that without making them, you know, without cleaving them back. But who knows? Who knows? But for now, my preliminary ranking is S because she's a very specialized unit. You're not gonna slam her every game for no reason. And I know she ignores damage share, but I don't think that's enough to justify her. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'll give her an S for now. But I do think she knocks Diene down a rank because units like Diene, she starts with Immortal, so she gives Ivana instant value. But unlike Scales, Diene, the Scales does not start with Immortality, right? So Ivana doesn't get value until you do damage to Scales' team. So yeah, I think because that counterplay exists, I don't think Ivana will be that crazy into Scales. I'll keep Scales here, but yeah, I will cautiously keep Scales here. I think she's still S tier. Because, like, you know, it's very hard to stop a Scales cleaver. So yeah, I'll say she's S tier. And for other units, I've also bumped Celine up. Celine is... Celine on 3 as a second pick draft is very strong right now. She's like the most popular photogenic thief. Tori is also quite a pretty popular photogenic thief, but I'm not sure if she's like as pickable as Celine. But I dare say Tori is up here too, because like she's also resistant to G buffs. And like she's positive into a lot of meta units. But yeah, Celine really strong. The Celine build going around right now is like 230, 240 speed with max damage, and then Salome clones her. And then you get the soul burn, the extra soul burn for free, and you do 1 billion damage, get an extra turn, and then boom. Like it's very strong, and the core of that draft is hiding her behind Arunka. And speaking of Arunka, we also bumped Arunka up. I believe I moved Arunka down some time ago, but I think Arunka's value has gone up even more because the necessity of photo thieves is a little ridiculous. Like, you need summer photogenic to deal with you know, to deal with like slower skill players. You needed to deal with Estelle. You needed to deal with yeah, just damage share in general. Cause like, there's a lot of mitigation and everything. So yeah, because these two units in particular, when they're on photogenic, they're really good. But to play these units, you have to have Arunka to protect them, which is really lame. I think Arunka is one of the most boring units in the game, to be honest. Like this unit right now, she would be tier 0 if they even if they removed her S3 and S1 because her S2 is that annoying. That's kind of how it is right now. So yeah, Arunka is back to tier 0 just because DPS on 3 drafts are one of the only drafts you can play, unfortunately. And oh yeah, Estelle also came out. Estelle is really annoying, but I think she's well designed too. The thing about Estelle is that she doesn't counterattack unless you do you know, a lot of actual damage. But she doesn't counterattack on little tickly things, right? Like she doesn't counterattack on Assyria stuff, because like, you know, Assyria S3, she won't really counter because like the S3 doesn't do much like initial like impact damage. It just does a lot of fixed damage, right? So she won't counterattack Asteria S3 unless it's her counter set, and then she won't counterattack things like Arya S1 because the initial S1 hit doesn't do that much damage. It's a follow-up that does a lot of damage. So with that said, she does have some counterplay, but she's also, you know, there's a lot of things that are that she's really good against naturally. Like she'll be really good against free Ren, because like free Ren always does enough damage to proc her. She's really good against anything that does a chunk of damage. But like she can't handle Lethe, because like Lethe, the tentacle doesn't proc her counter. So yeah, she's very strong, but she does have some counterplay though. But she's still the best mitigation in the game pretty much right now, besides like arrow wall and stuff. But also she's really good against Nodos in particular, because like she'll stop your team from dying with 40% mitigation, which is really nice. But yeah, Estelle is a really strong unit overall, and protects your team a lot. It's really annoying. Has supplemental damage. So Estelle, easy S plus tier. I've been picking her like in my 1-2 for like the past 2 days, and she performs really well. Only issue though is that steals make her completely useless. Like Luna, she does not like Luna. She does not like Diene. But yeah, otherwise she's pretty good. And then let's see what else is new. Oh yeah, I knocked down Diene to S+. I think I said that already. Yeah, we knocked down Diene to S+ because Ivana's existence makes her not a first pick anymore. But there's a little caveat though. Diene is probably still Diene might get the Taeyu treatment, where Diene is probably like the best Cleave 4-5 pick, and then you know, they pick Ivana, and then you're in a coin flip ban situation. Like, if you ban the Diene and they ban your Ivana, I'm perfect. But if you ban the Diene and then they don't ban your Ivana, you have a useless Ivana. So with that said, I don't think Diene is useless. I think she is still a menace, because she is a very threatening last pick. So yeah, still a very potent unit. She makes every cleave 10 times better, even if she's last pick. So yeah, I don't think there is anything else in particular. Yeah, everything else is pretty much the same still. So yeah, I guess that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. I'll see you guys next time.